Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we will be taking a look at very interesting active speaker system, the Edifier S880dB MK2, which the manufacturer claims to be a hi-fi class system. This model belongs to Edifier's S series, which falls into the brand higher-end segment. To begin, let's talk about the differences between the second revision and the first. The total power output of the speakers remained the same, at 88 watts RMS. The amplifier is implemented using a B-amping scheme, with 32 watts allocated to the mid-low frequency driver and 11 watts to the tweeter. I'd like to emphasize the size of the woofer. It remains the same at 3.75 inches. However, this is more of a marketing trick. As you can see, the measurement includes both a small working surface and a decorative black plastic frame. The actual inner diameter of the working surface, which generates sound wave, is around 2.5 inches, excluding the rubber surround. As for the tweeter, the new revision features a 1.25-inch titanium tweeter, whereas the previous version had a 0.75-inch titanium tweeter. This change should theoretically improve the sound quality. The bass reflex port has also been redesigned. It's now oval-shaped, which has extended the effective frequency response down by 5 Hz, from 55 Hz in the first revision to 50 Hz in this one. The upper frequency range remains an impressive 40 kHz. A particularly important feature for those planning to connect the speakers directly via USB is the inclusion of the XMOS XU260 chip in the new revision. The first revision also claimed to have an XMOS chip, but the manufacturer did not specify the model on the official website, only mentioned in some promotional materials. So what do XMOS chip offer? First, they enable asynchronous data transfer, meaning the speakers are not dependent on the computer's clock generator. Second, they reduce latency and jitter, ensuring a more stable digital signal. Most importantly, they allow direct access to the DAC through ICO and similar direct audio output interfaces, bypassing the operating system's mixer. Both revisions support PCM digital signals, with sample rates of 44.1 kHz, 4896, and 192 kHz. The new version has also upgraded the Bluetooth module from version 5.1 to 5.3, dropping aptX in favor of LDAC. A dedicated subwoofer output has been added. The remote control has been updated, and the overall weight of the speakers has been reduced from 7.5 kg to 6.27 kg. Seems like something was left out. Now let's move onto the back panel of the active speaker and see what we've got. The bass reflex port is quite large and performs its function well. We see 3 knobs here. The top one controls volume with infinite free rotation, and the display shows volume change in real time. The middle knob adjusts the treble and has fixed central position. Turning it also displays useful information on the screen. The same applies to the bottom knob, which controls bass levels. Below the knobs there is a power switch, and beneath that a power input that feeds the built-in power supplier, a convenient feature, in my opinion, as I prefer internal power supplies over external adapters. The unit offers 2 analog inputs, which is handy. You can connect 2 signal sources simultaneously and switch between them using the remote control. Below that there is a coaxial digital input, an optical input, and high-quality USB-C input based on XMOS architecture. Under the USB-C port there is an output for an active subwoofer and a 5-pin output for the passive speaker, which transmits already separated signals to the woofer and tweeter. A quick word on the remote control. I honestly wish the manufacturer had just included a classic remote with buttons. The touch panel is extremely inconvenient. If you've used this touch remote before, let me know your thoughts in the comment. Regarding design, I think the front and top panels looks great. The material feels pleasant to the touch, resembling eco-leather. However, the side panel seems a bit overdone. I'd prefer a more neutral, uniform look, but that's matter of taste. Now let's talk about the most important thing, the sound. I primarily use the USB direct output. I also tried the analog input with an external DAC, but the sound became slightly muddy and less detailed. Of course, this depends on the DAC you are using, but I don't see the point in buying an external DAC for these speakers when the built-in USB implementation is already excellent. I doubt you'd get a noticeable improvement in sound quality with an external DAC. And let's be honest, these are still multimedia speakers, despite the manufacturer's hi-fi classification. The main advantage of their sound is a fairly flat frequency response, no harsh sibilance, and no listening fatigue over long periods, making them a great desktop solution. Now let's dive into the bass, mids and highs, highlighting both the strengths and weaknesses. The bass is well structured, not as precise as professional studio monitors, but it doesn't turn into a mess either. It's not particularly deep, but keep in mind that the actual working surface of the woofer is only 2.5 inches. What I really appreciated is the absence of a boomy bass effect. Of course, booming bass depends on the room, but in my case, this issue was easily fixed using the Edifier app. The app allows you to adjust the EQ to your preference. In my setup, I achieved a more balanced bass by reducing 250 Hz by 1.5 dB and boosting 602 Hz by 2 dB to extend bass depth. In the middle range, vocals lack some expressiveness. They sound a bit dry and muffled, without much air. However, this type of tuning allows for long listening session without ear fatigue. If you prefer a more open and musical vocal presentation, I recommend boosting 4 kHz by 2 dB in the Edifier app to achieve a more detailed and emphasized vocal range. The highs are smooth and neutral, with no excessive sharpness or sibilance. They have basic detail and are not fatiguing. Thought they could use a bit more ironess and transparency. Overall, I find the stock high-frequency tuning satisfactory, so I didn't feel the need for further EQ adjustments. In terms of genre compatibility, the speakers are quite versatile. They handle pop music well, and in a heavier genres like rock and metal, they don't turn into a muddy mess. Classic music lacks some dynamic range, but for the price, they can still deliver a decent classical performance. Now let's listen to some sample tracks and hear how the sound changed with different presets profiles. We will also take a look at the Edifier Connex app interface. Compared to my previous Edifier M60 speakers, these are superior in every way, except for size and price. So, should you buy the Edifier S880dB2? If they fit your budget and space, I definitely recommend them. The combination of technology and features makes these speakers a unique product in the market. I'd also suggest considering the Edifier MR3, which is slightly smaller and has an excellent frequency response. Thought you will need a good dock for them. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and got some useful information about these speakers. Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!